morning, everybody. I'd hoped to be there in person today, but decided it'd be better if I stay home and rest a little bit more. But I have some information I want to share with you. Some people know already, but most people we haven't told, because I wanted to be sure and tell my church family first. Of course, after my family, my kids and parents and everyone, but just wanted, before I went totally public on some of the newest developments with what's going on with me, that I would tell my heritage family first. You guys have been such a support, such a help, and such family that even though I've hinted on Caring Bridge and Facebook of important things happening, I wanted to save the details so I could talk to you. However, this morning I found it just a little bit too tired and a little bit too winded to do that. In fact, I may have to put on my new punk jewelry here in a minute or two just to get through this, so don't be surprised if I start sporting, a new tie or something. But anyway, we'll see if I can get through. But the first thing I want to remind you is, whatever I have to say, it's important to remember that God is still bigger. God is always bigger. And as long as there's breath, there's hope. And there's breath. And there's a big gabby person over here being silly and uncomfortable, and I don't like cameras, don't know how to respond to them. But the other thing is to remember that, Mark tells us that, with man these things are impossible, but with God all things are possible. And that hasn't changed. And just like we've said from the beginning, I need a miracle. I need a miracle. Just like several months ago when I stood before you and said, medicine can't do any more, it's all miracle or nothing. That's not changed. So, bottom line, although I have more medical stuff, more limitations, more difficulties, bottom line is nothing has changed. God is still bigger. He's still greater. He's still completely able. My goodness, that has not changed one bit. And it is still possible with God. And so I just want to encourage you to hold on to that and to remember that, both for yourselves and for me. To remember that our God is strong enough and our God is big enough. But we have had some episodes this week. Sorry, I'm crying. We've had some episodes this week that were worrisome. And so, after writing it out for a couple of days, I went to the emergency room and had some tests done. And bottom line is, the cancer has spread more. It's no longer just in my colon and lungs and liver, and there's no longer just some pockets of fluid, and it's no longer just in my hips, and it's no longer just a little bit on my adrenal gland. I don't even know if I told you guys that or not. But now this little belly that I've been sporting and telling some people is my new pregnant belly, it's not just a little bit of fluid. There's a cantaloupe in there on my ovary, a tumor, obviously. And that's why I'm having so much abdominal pain and difficulties. And it's probably not helping the hip and the leg issue pain either. But that's the better news. And the worst news is, well, we always knew I was a mental case, and the scans prove it. Sorry. But I have 3 lesions on my brain. 2 up here, I think, if I remember, and 1 back here. It's affecting my speech. I'm doing really, really good today. I don't know if you saw the silly piggy video on YouTube or on Facebook. That wasn't even my worst, but it certainly is worse than now. But they have me on some steroids to keep some swelling down, and that has helped improve my speech. And it's helping me get through this weekend. This weekend is kind of a dangerous weekend. They're not really sure what my brain is going to do. When you have lesions in your brain, then often there's swelling around it. And unlike my baby belly, my head can't stretch and make room for a swelling. And so, of course, there's the danger of leaking out my neck, which is an instant death thing, pretty much. So that's the danger, just up front. My breathing is severely compromised. They have me on oxygen 24/7 now, just to make sure to keep my respiratory up, because there's danger of seizures and things like that. And so I have an appointment tomorrow, UT actually, trying to move treatment closer to home for obvious reasons. And they are, of course, considering brain surgery to try to remove those tumors and the subsequent pressure. But more than likely, since there's so many, they won't do brain surgery. But they are, of course, wanting to do radiation and shrink those down. And it's obviously a big choice. If they don't do it, then my time could be around the corner any minute. If they do it, then it can give me some more time for us to continue being a family, all four, and for us to continue waiting on God's promised miracle. So I'm not sure what we're going to do. We won't know really anything until tomorrow, until we meet with the doctors. It's actually miraculous that they jumped through the hoops to get me, a stranger, in. I've only been for treatment here once, and that was over 2 years ago. And but they're working on getting me switched to there and being really kind and helpful. And so I think we'll know more tomorrow. And I'll be sure and let you know on Caring Bridge. If you don't have that address, ask someone to give it to you today. I can't even remember it to tell you. And or of course, if we're Facebook friends, you can watch that and you can know. Right now, as far as visits go, I'm definitely open, but it's also going to be a busy week. Kids are starting school, and I don't know what kind of appointments. So please, please, please call and check first. I do really well sometimes, and I'm falling apart other times, and I'd rather have the option to say later. But don't ignore me. Call and text. If I'm sleeping, the cell phone's off. So please, I don't want to hear anyone say I didn't call because I was afraid to wake you. Call. I'll have it off and I'll turn it back on. And even if I can't return your message, I'll be blessed and encouraged and helped. And so don't be afraid. It's still the crazy Shelley in here, facing some hard things with her body. But I love you, and I love God, and I trust, and I still stand on Daniel 3. I still know that what God has spoken is true, that He is completely able to deliver me. He is completely planning to deliver me. That's really what the Bible speaks of. It speaks of healing. And that's what His Rhema word to me has been over and over and over. And I really believe that's His plan. But, ... even if He doesn't heal me, He's still God. He is still good. He has a plan for my family. He has a plan for my church. He has a plan for my legacy. He has a plan. And even though death is not his plan, he is good at redeeming and good at restoring and taking what the enemy has stolen, what the enemy has destroyed, what the enemy has killed, and bringing life out of it. And so I trust him. I trust him. I'm scared. I'm sad. I'm blown away. I kind of like having a brain that works. But I have a God that works, even when I don't. So I love you guys. And I'm so thankful for your support and for your battle for me. I'm telling you what, no matter what happens, we are fighting the good fight. You and me. You have not let me down. You have not failed to pray or fast enough or worship enough. This is not on us. This is a war against the enemy, against principalities that only God can fight. And we have done our job standing in faith and believing and encouraging and trusting. Let's keep doing it. Let's not give up. Let's not back down. But let's rest in knowing that God is God and God is good and he is worthy. He is worthy. He's worthy. I love you guys.